So are you having a hard time moving forward with this game?
Yeah, I am. Like I'm completely honest. Like I'm gonna play some co-op with my friends, but yeah, it has bugged me. Like I'm gonna go through it and play it. I mean, I paid $60 for the game, but yeah, I'm just like in the grand scheme of things. I remember when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out and people were talking about Trevor and how crazy he was, and just like, and then you're like, I have to play as this psychopath.
Yeah.
Like, why am I doing this? And this guy, he rapes people, he kills people, he's a deplorable person. Like,
so did you play through all the story for Grand Theft Auto 5?
I played through some of it. I played through enough of it to kind of get a grasp of who Trevor and the other two characters were.
I'm pretty sure I'm the only one out of us who's played through the entire game.
You're right.
Yep.
It's a great game. I really do like the story. And Trevor, I think the reason why, people are definitely, they have a reason to complain about it, but I think with him, because the character is so outrageous, that there is a bit of a disconnect. And it's third person. Where with Battlefield, it's first person. We know that this actually happened to a degree. You know, we know how horrible World War I and World War II were. So it's kind of harder to make that separation. Where, like I said, with Trevor, any Grand Theft Auto character or any other kind of third-person game, you can kind of say, well, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't necessarily have to do all this.
Yeah, but the problem is with Trevor, I still got that feeling playing like as him, that like I'm still doing this. Like, whether it's in a game, like I'm still doing this,
and it's the action itself is what's going to be considered.
And like, I guess like the fact that I'm thinking about that and like it's bothering me is, I guess, a good thing versus me just kind of doing it like brain dead idiot, just doing this stuff and not really thinking about like the repercussions of the consequences of my actions, even though it is in a game. But
kind of extending off of the whole idea of games that make you think, you're saying that thinking, why am I doing this? Why is this a game? Why is this acceptable in a sense? A game that kind of makes me consider the same thing, but even on a more incredibly insane scale, is an indie game that was made a couple years ago or last year called Mayhem. You remember this game?
Mayhem.
I've heard of it.
It's a game where it's a twin stick shooter. I'm pretty sure it's a twin stick shooter. It's a top down shooter. And you play as a character, and all he does is fucking kill everybody.
I remember this.
Every civilian in sight, women, men, cops, everybody. Guns, knives, grenades, fucking massacring for no reason, just because he was like, I fucking hate humanity, so I'm going to kill everyone. Yeah. And there's two things about that game that really interest me. Who in the right mind would make something like this? And who would, aside from it being a game, connect to something that's so fucking incredibly outlandish? And that game, I really thought about the game a lot. And I watched the trailer a lot in gameplay because I was like, this game is insane. Yeah. The developers are geniuses because it made money off of it being
controversial.
Fuck it, let's do it all. Let's just go crazy. Grand Theft Auto exercises their freedom of speech. They'll say fuck you to Rockstar. We're going to make it even worse. And there's people who bought it who are free thinking enough to understand that this game is just stupid and they're going to play it just to see how crazy it is. And there's people that were like, yeah, that's fucking fun. And I'm like, why in the world is this acceptable under these circumstances? And I don't know, that's one of those games.
Maybe they're really good at separating, this is a game, this is not how I...
Those are the kind of people, though, that I was considering in the first kind of criteria. The people that are like free thinking and understanding of what this is, but there's not people that... There are video game players, there's children who played that game. And there's children that play Grand Theft Auto. More children play Grand Theft Auto than adults. I don't know the actual stats, but I'm going to say it, being a retail worker who sells that game, that more children play it. How can you create something knowing what can happen to youth? Yeah,
it's a complex question. And I consider myself free thinking, obviously, to a certain degree. I mean, because not everyone's like 100% free thinking, but like I look at like those games and like the impact that they have, and I wonder like, okay, like I can differentiate between this being a game and not being a game, but it still comes down to it. I guess if you're bothered, if you're able to like check yourself and like you're this
still
is a
human,
game.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah, like I guess there has to be like some quantification of like this is bothering me to a certain degree, but I understand that this is a game, and I'm just going through. I can critique it like an adult, basically.
Real quick, game was called Hatred. Sorry, not Mayhem. The game is called Hatred.
Yeah. And I remember it was black and white, right?
It was black and white. And then the blood is the only thing that's colored, obviously.
That's really interesting because it kind of games like that kind of make you realize like. They make you ask yourself, do I have a boundary? And then if you do, okay, well, this is a game where I crossed it. Like, this is where I'm like, okay, this is too much. So it kind of puts you in a check for yourself. Like, all right, this is my boundary. I definitely crossed that. For some people, that doesn't exist. They're like, this is fun, just like you're saying, which is like, I don't know. I mean,
I like that they're there because you can push the limits.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You can figure out,
you can see what can be done.
There's games throughout history that have done this well. Before, like... Manhunt, for one. I was about to say, there's games throughout history that have been controversial because they push the boundaries. Do you remember, and before indie developing was such a major thing, there was like the Columbine RPG game and shit like that.
Yeah, there was a bunch of shit like that.
Jesus.
But it's, I think now because video games are so much more prevalent than they were 5 years ago, even.
For sure.
It's becoming an issue of like, truly how far is too far just because of who can get their hands on this merchandise.
Yeah, and even if they don't play the games, they're watching the videos. Like,
Yeah. Although I did not see too many, I could be wrong, there's probably thousands, millions of videos even, but I didn't see too many like prevalent YouTubers or gamers playing.
I'm not saying that, but they might.
But yeah, obviously they exist. Obviously.
Yeah, and on a quick note, because I actually want to hear what you were talking about Last of Us beforehand, and I actually really want to get to that. But on a quick note, like I was watching some Twitch streams too before I bought Battlefield, and it was like the first game that I've seen someone, not like, where they get scared and they drop their controller, but a guy that I watch played every week. I watch him play every week, on Twitch. I don't know why I can't talk. But he Me
neither, dude.
Like one of the scenes in the beginning, he actually like put his controller down. I was like, fuck.
Like it was that, like...
Yeah, and he was just like...
I want to check this out now, but I know I won't be able to handle it.
I'll send you a clip and that you can watch. It's like a 10-minute clip, but he was just like, this shit is like, this is too much. So like he kind of had to like take a breather, and he kind of like went to his chat to just like talk with his chat for a second and kind of was like regroup, because it was just getting overwhelming for him. And like it's just like once you guys have kind of seen some gameplay, you kind of get the idea that you'll play as a character, and then that character will die, and then it'll kind of scope out and it'll say the person's name, the year that he was born, the year that he died, and then you'll go to another person that's like across the battlefield, and you'll actually sometimes you'll get kind of like this cross perspective of like, okay, well, this tank is what killed him, and then you're shooting at the tank from a different angle, and then this guy will die, and then it'll zoom out, and then it'll go to a different perspective on the battlefield.
That's really interesting.
It's crazy. I've never seen a shooter do that.
So then this is part of the story you're saying.
Yeah, this is all story. I haven't even discussed multiplayer.
That's fucking crazy to me, actually, because I've never ever heard of that.
I already was planning on getting the game. I probably will get it this week.
I am so interested in something like that, but I get sucked into stuff so easily that I'm so sensitive to it that I'll be like, I'll probably take 2 seconds and be like, no. I know myself. I can't.
Yeah.
I get so sucked in. I'm like, this is real. This is real to me. I can't do it.
It's really funny. It's really there's quite a few times where that's happened to me as well. But like that's just from what, because I'm not. I mean, we're not. I'm the biggest fans of just straight shooters.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a pretty good experience with like Halo and Call of Duty and stuff, but for us, I would say we're more inclined to play story-based games, I would say. On the whole, solid narrative-based games. There's nothing wrong with shooters as a whole, but the majority of them are hot garbage in terms of stories. And just from how you're describing just these leaps that they made, these risks that they took to
I just heard something, sorry.
to do something different and special. And I would even go as far to say, like, just from your descriptions of the scenery, artistic.
Yeah.
They took so much artistic,
Good work.
like, faith in their
Yeah, there's heart in the game. There's definitely heart in the game, and
they definitely tried.
Yeah, I think
harder.
This is the first time that you'll see Battlefield probably affect Call of Duty for sure. It may not so much in sales, but I think you'll probably have
in terms of people saying
the people look at that and say, let's try and do something like that.
Yeah. I think this year in general is going to do that with the success of Overwatch and
like Doom, for example.
Even Doom. Doom was a huge,
which is surprising,
and nobody expected that shit.
Yeah,
and Deus Ex even we still got. I mean, they're not
as far as narrative.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Always Deus Ex.